Miss Christine here. We just finished story time where our theme today was cats. So for our craft, I thought I would show you how to make a cat mask using a paper plate and some simple crafting supplies that you might already have at home. So here's the supplies that you're gonna need. You're going to need a paper plate, chopsticks or a popsicle stick, something to use as a handle. You could even use paper straws. I have some tape, glue. You can use glue sticks or liquid glue. It's going to take a little bit longer for your pieces to dry. And for my whiskers, I actually used a hot glue gun. Now kids, make sure that your parents are the ones that are using the hot glue gun because it's really easy for you to get burned. You're going to need something to make your circles. I found that a bottle cap works really well. Pipe cleaners. And then paint. Now, I decided to paint my mask, but you could also choose to use markers, crayons, chalk. Maybe you want to use construction paper. I do have a piece of construction paper because I thought maybe instead of painting my ears or even drawing with a marker my face, I could also cut out shapes using the construction paper. So let me show you how to get started. So we have our paper plate. And you don't want to, we're not going to cut it exactly in half. We're actually going to make it so that there's one piece that's a little bit bigger than the other piece. And you don't have to be exact. You don't have to draw a line or anything like that. Just kind of eyeball it. Okay, so you can see that one piece is slightly smaller than the second. Actually, I got a little bit closer to half than I thought I would. So save your bigger piece. With the smaller piece, we're gonna cut out 2 triangles for our ears. Again, I'm not drawing anything, I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut out a square, or in this case it's a rectangle, and then I'm going to cut it in half so I end up with 2 triangles. Are my triangles perfect? No, but that's okay. That's what makes crafting a lot of fun. All right, on my paper plate, I'm going to take my circle and a pen and I'm going to trace 2 circles for my eyes. There's 1, 2. Okay, and I find the easiest way to cut something out that's in the middle of the paper is to take my paper and fold it. And I can actually, the paper is thin enough, the paper plate is thin enough that I can see the line, so I'm just kind of folding my circle in half, and then I'm going to give it a little cut. Okay, and I'll do the same thing with the other circle, and let me flip it the other way so you can see. So I'm flipping the circle in half, folding it in half, taking my scissors and just giving a little cut in the middle. And that gives me just enough room to slip my scissors in there and cut out my circles. And this doesn't, again, it doesn't have to be exact because when we're doing crafts, we're doing it to have fun. Oops, I don't want to mix up my scrap pieces with my ears. Okay. So we're just cutting out that second. All right, it's starting to come along. Now let's take those triangles and see, it doesn't matter that they weren't perfect because you can't really tell, and we're going to glue them onto the circle. I'm going to use a glue stick for this. Again, if you use liquid glue, just know it's going to take a little bit of time for it to actually dry. So on the bottom of the triangle, I'm just going to give it a line of glue, and you can see I put down a piece of newspaper so that I don't get my table dirty. And we're just going to glue it onto the back of the paper plate. I want a little more of the triangle to show. There we go. And we're gonna do the same thing with our other triangle. I just put a little bit of glue on the bottom of it. And we'll go ahead and put that right there. Okay, the next step is we need to actually decorate our cat. You could choose to do one color. There's multicolored cats. Just for the sake of our craft, I'm going to keep it to one color because it'll be a little bit faster for me to do. I'm just using some acrylic paint that we have here at the library, putting it on a different plates. Actually, if I wanted to save on the paper plates or save on the mess, I could even put it right onto my newspaper here, and that way I have less to clean up. Okay, so we're just going to take it, and now you're going to paint your plate. And this is where, have fun with it. You know, do different colors. I was thinking with my orange cat, I might even go back and add some white to it because my cat Rupert at home, he's orange and he's got white and brown in his fur. So I thought I might go back and add in some of his colors. So you can see I'm just spreading this out, making sure it all gets covered. And it's okay, my plate is starting to dip in because it's wet. And that's okay, because once it dries, you'll be able to pop that back out. Okay. Almost done with this part. Okay. And again, I'm doing this really fast to show you guys. Take your time with it, have fun. All right. When I'm painting, I really like to use sponge brushes because I like the way it feels when it's going across the paper. And I like the way it looks too. I feel like I get less brush strokes, but brush strokes might be good because you could give it texture to your fur. All right, so here is my plate. Obviously, when you're doing this at home, you're gonna wanna put this out in the sun or set it off to the side and let it dry. I forgot to make one of these in advance to show you guys, so I'm gonna be showing you what to do while it's still wet. But at home, make sure that you let your paint dry if you're using paint. So the next thing that I'm going to need to do is I want to make his ears and his nose pink since he's a brown cat. So I'm just gonna take my pink paint. I'm gonna use a different, and I'm just using the corner of my brush. And I'm gonna paint some pink triangles inside of his ear. And this is where it would be really helpful if I had a smaller brush available, but you make do with what you got. All right, so there's my ears. Oops. And I'm gonna give this one another coat because I want it to be a little bit darker. But this is where it would be helpful if I waited for the paint to dry. Okay. So there are my ears. And then I'm gonna give him another little triangle here with my point facing down. For my nose. Now, using my black marker, I'm going to touch this. It is dry down at the bottom. I'm going to give him his little smile. Okay, our kitty cat is almost done, but what is he missing? That's right, he's missing his whiskers. So this cat, I have 2 pink pipe cleaners. Use any pipe cleaners that you want. And I'm gonna take it and just fold it in half. And I'm going to do the same with my other pipe cleaner. Now here you can tape it on. You can use your liquid glue. Liquid glue takes a little bit of time to dry. And so I am going to use my glue gun, my hot glue gun, to do our whiskers. Remember, make sure that you have a parent or an adult that's using it because it's very easy for you to get burned. It is hot. I'm going to put just a dot of glue on one cheek. Okay, let me fix those whiskers. And then we'll put another dot of glue on the other side. And I'm using very little of the hot glue. And just a dot of glue onto our other cheek. And the fun thing about pipe cleaners is you can bend them any which way. Like, I want to open this up a bit. There we go. All right. So we have our masks, but now we need a way to actually hold them up. So that is where your chopstick, a popsicle stick, or even a paper straw comes in really handy. So on the other side, remember at home, you've waited for everything to dry. Just gonna flip it over and you can glue it, you can tape it. This is where I'm gonna add a little bit of tape. More. All right. You might have to play with it to make sure that it's really sticking there. And there you go. That is how you make a cat paper plate mask. I hope you enjoyed story time today, and I hope you enjoyed our craft. This craft, actually, the base, just the paper plate and the circles cut out, you could do any animal with it. You could do ducks and pigs, have fun. We chose to do a cat today because that was the theme of our story time. I hope you join me next Wednesday. 10:30 is our story time, and then we always follow it with a craft or an activity for you to do at home. So I will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.